It's been a very long time and I'm really sorry for that, but I am back now and that's all that matters. So basically, lately I've had two major life changes. First of all, I moved to another state, and second of all, I started working as a NICU nurse. So between unpacking, settling into my apartment, buying new things, constantly having to clean and rearrange my apartment, and starting this new job, I've been very busy, so I haven't really had time to film. But now I'm pretty much settled in, so I'm planning on having a video every single week. I'm not making any promises, but that's the plan. And also, as time goes on, my videos are going to be a little more NICU specific because there aren't a lot of videos about working in the NICU, especially not as a new grad. So hopefully that will be helpful to some of you out there. And during my hiatus, I noticed that I have over 100 subscribers now, which isn't a lot to some people, but it's a lot to me. And I'm thankful for that. So thank you guys for subscribing. Also, thank you to the people who DM me on Instagram, asking me questions and, saying nice things. I really appreciate it, and it makes me feel like this is helpful in some way, and I hope it is. Today's video is going to be basically about what I've been experiencing as a new nurse in a nurse residency program. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I just want to start off with the question, what is a nurse residency? So a nurse residency is just a program that's going to help nursing students who just graduated transition into being new nurses. It's just there to kind of help guide you and give you that extra help and information that you need in order to be a good nurse and make an easy transition. Most nurse residency programs are 12 months long, and that's how long mine is. Some hospitals offer nurse residency programs. They can be optional, but the hospital I work in, it's mandatory for all new nurses. So if it's your first year working as a nurse, you are automatically enrolled into the program. You have to do it. And I wanted to do a nurse residency program because I felt like it would be helpful. Like, I'm new out here, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll take all the help that I can get. So in the program that I'm in, we have monthly meetings. So the meeting each month is 4 hours long, and we do get paid for them. So let's say we have our meeting on a Monday, we also are required to work our regular 3 12-hour shifts that week. So instead of getting paid your regular 36 hours a week, you get paid 40 hours a week because you have that 4-hour session. And so these sessions are pretty simple. Even though I started in August, we've only had one session, and that first one was actually this month. And it was just all about self-care, taking care of yourself as a nurse. Because, sometimes we have burnout, compassion fatigue, and all that stuff. So the meetings in the future will be like about ethics, communication, conflict resolution, just things like that. So it's just something we have to do once a month, not a big deal. Also, at the end of the program, we are required to do a group project. And I honestly don't have a lot of information on this project, but basically I think what we have to do is just find a problem and try to find a way to improve it. So like, let's say you want to ask the question, does using hand hygiene more often decrease infection rates or something like that? You just would do your research, I don't know, maybe try to implement more hand washing on your unit, and then you just present your project to everyone at the end of the year. If I get more information on that, I can tell you about it, but honestly, I don't even know. Okay, and so like I said, I started in August. So the first day that I started, basically everyone that was hired into the hospital, no matter what their title was, we met at this one place. And we just got our pictures taken for our badges. We made sure we had all of our immunizations, and basically the rest of the day we just listened to people talk all day for 8 hours. And so that just was the start of our orientation, and orientation is a week long. So after that first day, everyone pretty much splits up into whatever group they're in. So nurses continue with their new nurse orientation. So once again, the rest of the week was just us listening to people talk 8 hours a day. which was quite a struggle for me after being unemployed for quite some time and then going into having to go to work Monday through Friday, 8 hours, just listening to people talk. But basically we listened to HR, we had people talk to us about the history of the hospital, ethics, just general things like that. And I think by the third day, we were split up into our units, so we actually got to go to wherever we're working. So, of course, I'm in the NICU, so I had NICU-specific classes for the rest of the week. And we also got a tour of the hospital. We did a few hands-on activities like practicing inserting an IV into a mannequin, practicing swaddling baby dolls, just things like that. So that was basically orientation in a nutshell for that first week. Then the next week we started our general orientation. So on my unit in the NICU, new nurses have to be on orientation for 12 weeks. So you're assigned a preceptor. Well, actually, I was assigned 2. So for the first 6 weeks, I worked with one preceptor, and then the final 6 weeks, I get assigned to another preceptor. So I'm currently on week 8 of 12, so I'm over halfway done, getting close to the finish line, which is kind of nerve-wracking because once my 12 weeks are up, I'm going to be on my own, like, ooh, kind of scary, but they're preparing me well. I'm learning a lot, so I think I'll be fine. And I just want to explain the timeline a little bit better. So, like I said, we had that first 1 week of general orientation for all new nurses and new hires into the hospital. Then we had 6 weeks of orientation on the actual unit with our preceptors, so we're working with the patients, working 3 12-hour shifts a week. And then we had another week of classes where we did our NRP, which is neonatal resuscitation program. We did stable. We took some breastfeeding classes so we can learn how to, educate parents on that. And just had a few other people come in and talk to us again. Once that week was up, we started our final 6 weeks of orientation, which is where I am now on week 8. So I hope that's not confusing. Let me just break it down one more time. We had a week of general classes in orientation, and then we started our 6 weeks of actually working on the floor, and then we had another week of classes, and now we're doing our final 6 weeks of orientation. So in total, it's 2 weeks of classes and 12 weeks of orientation. And so for my first 6 weeks on the floor, I worked day shift, and now for my final 6 weeks, I'm doing night shift. So it's quite the transition, but thankfully I did night shift during my capstone in nursing school, and it was actually in the NICU. I'm so thankful that I was able to do 6 weeks in the NICU during nursing school, because if I had not, I really do think that I would be like a deer in headlights right now at work. So nursing school really did help me, kind of know what to expect, and I had that a little bit of experience already, but I still am learning a lot of new things. But overall, orientation has been great so far. And even though we're new, we are getting paid our regular, pay that we're going to have even off orientation. So we are getting our shift differentials too. So if you work nights, weekends, you get paid extra, which is great. So that was just a brief overview of how things have been. It's just strictly orientation right now. I'm learning a lot, doing a lot, and I really do like it so far. I'm so glad that I was able to get into the NICU. It's exactly what I wanted, so I'm glad that I like it. One more thing that I do want to add is that I did get relocation assistance. So a lot of hospitals will pay you to move if you come from a certain distance. So the hospital I work in, if you came from, I think, over 50 miles away, they pay you to move here. And because I moved from a different state, I qualified. And let me tell you, that relocation assistance is a blessing, especially when you're like me, you don't own any furniture, and you have to move. Like, it is great. So if you're going to, move to another hospital, definitely check out and see if they offer relocation assistance and a residency program. I think residencies are great for nurses. Like, why wouldn't you want the extra help? You're a new nurse, you don't know what you're doing, none of us do. So when I do a residency program, also I feel like residencies are more likely to, or hospitals that offer residencies are more likely to hire new nurses into ICUs, because they know that they're going to have someone out actually, helping you make that transition into such a hard unit. I just wanted to give you a little overview about what's going on and tell you a little bit about nurse residency programs. So if you have a chance to join one, I definitely would recommend it. I think it would be very helpful for you. If you have any questions about residency programs, just leave me a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a lovely day.